Hello everyone, welcome to playoff action between Imarello and Hayate666. That is the kind of super friends who are Dark Elves run by Hayate666 and Imarello's Orcs, the Noobtown Smasherz. Should be quite the match. As far as I'm aware, Imarello is undefeated. I think Hayate may be undefeated as well, so it's two titans of the Blood Bowl pitch taking each other on. I'd like to introduce my co-caster for today, Cool Kiwi. You may have seen him around in chat, etc., and he also streams himself.
Hey there. Hey chat. Hey Rico. Hey Zoom.
Rico and Zoom already here, right on the button there. Click that link as soon as it went live. Good to see you guys. Let us know if anything goes wonky with the sound or anything like that, because you know how paranoid I am after the Robo Kitakaze incident last season, which probably none of you know about now, because you're all noobs. Noobs! I'm a majors coach now. How the hell did that happen?
Congrats, man. Congrats. They grow up so quickly.
We'll see. I've got my first open season invitational game tonight, and depending on how that goes, I may not have a team going into majors.
Yeah, it's high risk, man.
But yes, so we are just waiting for the teams to get in. Imarello's team, fairly standard Orc setup. Hayate's team, I did take a look at the other day as well. They're fairly standard. They lack a cutting edge, I would say. They're not particularly bash heavy.
No, they need Mighty Blow.
Yeah, interesting picks on the Witch Elves as well. Both of them have gone for Wrestle.
Yeah, and Hayate's last match was against Kronk, another Orc coach, who was dearly lacking tackle to deal with all those bludgers. Imarello does have tackle on, I think, 2 players, so that's going to be interesting.
And I do believe that both of those players also have Mighty Blow, which makes them doubly scary for those elves.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interesting pick with both Witch Elves going Wrestle. I would probably have gone Block on one of them myself. I don't know about you. But hey, if it works, it works. Maybe they're both being designed to be ball sackers. I know that Hayate plays with a runner, which I'm not a big fan of. I think the runner is a bit of a crap player, personally.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned that runner is basically another movement 7 player on the pitch, so yeah, that's something.
If you're going for high mobility, then it kind of makes sense, but I just think that AV7 is a huge trade-off just to get dump off and an extra point of movement, you know?
Yeah, especially, have you watched his last match?
I have not, I missed it.
Yeah, he was super aggressive. Like, there was so much basing happening, and that's not how you use your movement 7.
Yeah,
especially against a slow team like Orcs.
For sure, although if it worked for him and got him through, then it worked for him and got him through, so, you know... Everything's a bad idea until it works, as I always say.
Sure.
Oh, Kiwi, can you turn yourself down just a pop?
I sure can. How the fuck do I do this?
There we go. Right, first curse word of the evening, everyone.
Let me head over to the... no, I think you have to... I
think it might be Discord settings, but... let's have...
You should be able to turn me down a notch.
Do you not have like a volume dial on your mic?
No.
Okay.
No, this is a headset, so...
Okay, I am going to turn you down to about 76%. Let's see how that goes.
Check.
Oh, maybe a little bit more. 88%. Let's go with that. Okay, just say hello again.
Hello, chat. How's this?
That's better, I think. That sounds better to me, anyway. Are we in?
Yeah, should work out.
I'm not in yet. Just waiting on getting pinged to let us know that we're in. Perfect. Wicked. Excellent.
All right.
4 minutes. So, yeah, should be...
both of them mentioned that they are ready, so...
Yeah.
Shouldn't take too long now.
Alright, so... should come up soon. Whoop, whoop. Hey, Hodgie. How you doing, man? So, yes. This could be a very interesting game. Right, they're just getting in now, so it should be showing up in the theme.
If I remember correctly, Imarello is down on TV and gets inducement cash, right?
I think ever so slightly, but it's no way. I think it's actually quite a lot. I think he's got like 200k. Hey Ellie, how you doing? So yeah, it's like 200k. I'm not Rand. Since when did Rand become British, Al?
Still too loud? Alright. You should ban her. That's not...
I'm not going to ban Ali. That's way beyond my pay grade. Ban me. I shall rise up more terrible than...
I dare you!
Ellie's just like, ban me. Ban me!
But yeah, Imarello mentioned that he was the one that talked Kronk into playing with a chainsaw under bribe, which backfired horribly because the chainsaw didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see if he takes the same route or goes for something more reliable.
We've discussed inducements a bit, so I have some idea, but I won't spoil the surprise. Also, just in case Hayate's lurking somewhere, we don't want to talk about what we talked about mentee-wise. Said just dying, but I'm not seeing anything yet. Let's see if I can find it via the Noobtown Smasherz. My pelves. They did what they did, and now
they died.
They died. Yeah. 4 casualties and 4 deaths. So I managed to roll one into an MNG, but yeah, it was pretty horrible. Okay, we are in. So I'm going to mute my mic in a second so that you can't hear me umming and ahhing while I'm thinking, and I will leave you to Kiwi's tender ministrations. Try not to swear too much. Oh yeah, Pro elves are really good at dying. All right, so it looks like we are... Sweltering Heat comes out to play. I will leave you on Kiwi to talk about the setups while I sort out the setups here as well.
All right.
So I'm just muting my mic. I'll be back in a minute.
Yep. So, hello chat. This is Kiwi. Nice to have you all here. So I am actually having to load the game on my... Oh, so we have Sweltering Heat, so that's going to be interesting. Hayate having won the kickoff, or at least he's attacking first, so that's interesting. So we're gonna see if he bases. He's defending.
Yeah.
Look at me failing. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see whether he plays as aggressively as he did against Kronk, because that could have backfired massively. As Ellie mentioned, what did he take for inducement? So he took, I have no idea about the orc inducement players, but he didn't go for the chainsaw. He went for Vera Gulchewer, which is a jump up, mighty blow, thick skull block player. So this is, this is just more punch and a bit more mobility, which is going to be very useful, I think, and certainly more reliable than the chainsaw. Did he go for a no bribe? All right, so I have no idea how much this guy costs, but he does look cool. All right, I gotta remember that you are watching Gausser's stream and not mine on my monitor.
Hello, I'm back. So, yes, he went for Gulchewer, who is a ridiculous star player. He's basically a jump-up move 6 Black Orc. So he's eminently lethal, and I think this is just to leverage the strength advantage. I think we're going to see fairly aggressive play on the part of Imarello on this attacking drive, especially given that Sweltering Heat could take half his team off the field at the end of it. So, best way to deal with Sweltering Heat is to punch your opponent to pieces so that when Sweltering Heat hits, he's got no players anyway.
And he's going to be pretty tough to remove. I mean, armor 9, thick skull, strength 4.
He's an absolute
that's going to be hard to... Yeah, now comes in that Hayate is lacking mighty blow.
So, as we said, there is a Mighty Blow tackle blitzer on Imarello's side, and we now have a second Mighty Blower in Varag Gulchewer. Varag doesn't have tackle, but saying that, there's still quite a lot of pieces on this field who don't have dodge. So it's Varag is ridiculous. I think he's like 260 60, so there has been a slight bit of scumming going on. I'll turn Kiwi down again a little bit. Kick goes in.
Still too loud.
Still too loud. Okay, kick is good to the back. That's about where we're expecting with kick. So I'll just turn you down just a touch more.
Check, 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 check.
There we go. That's down another sort of couple of percent.
He does have 2 orcs on the bench.
He does. He has a bench that's cheering fans, so fails the catch, but that's fine. It's an orc. Okay, straight away with the POWs. Bench on the orc side, we have 2 linemen. No armor break there, but
Against one on the one liner on the runner stays out on Hayate's side.
Keeps him off for his offensive drive because that fragile paper armor. Go first armor break. It's just a stun. How's the volume levels, guys? All good. So Tinder Disturbance is stunned. I think we're going to see him push forwards a bit now. But yes, so
that Mighty Blow tackle blitzer is going to be really annoying for Hayate to deal with.
I think that's a priority target,
yes,
if ever there was one, because that thing could really ruin his day. Varag's got to be a bit scary as well, although the lack of tackle on him does mean that the dodgers are a little bit less prone to get punched out by him. Here comes the tackle. Just a push.
Yep.
Slightly unfortunate.
I mean, having Varag on the pitch is nice, not only because he's a really good player, that's hard to remove, but also because, as you said, he's another high value target to remove.
Absolutely.
And you can only remove so many Armor 9 players in a match.
And not only that, but because of his increased strength, it's going to be 3 players just to take him down with any sort of advantage. So you've got currently 5 players on the pitch who don't suffer from really stupid because they're not trolls, who are going to take 3 players each to actually get a decent hit on.
Yes.
So it's leveraging that strength advantage, and then what I would expect Imarello. The Heat could take most of them, that is true. Sweltering Heat is an absolute pig for that. I've seen Sweltering Heat do some really hideous things before.
Oh, yeah.
That said, we will see whether or not it affects the game particularly. I mean, I think it was either the final or the semi-final of college last year was played under Sweltering Heat, and it had a massive effect on the game. But similarly, I've had a game personally where Sweltering Heat did very little. So I think it took one of my linemen down and none of the opposition's players, and then ended after that drive. So
yeah, I had a mighty Sweltering Heat match where it took down like 5 of the opponent's players and none of mine.
Yeah, that's the worst.
And yeah, if that happens, like there's nothing you can do against them. You have lost.
The most cursed game that I ever had, the absolute worst one, was not with my orcs actually, it was with my human team. And Sweltering Heat happened, took off half my players, and then the kickoff event was a riot, and it knocked down the rest of my players except for one, and neither touched the opposition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree, Hodgie. It is good that he's attacking now. It's harder to score with all players down because of the need for caging and the need for controlling the areas of the pitch that orcs have. That being said, like I said, that strength deficit means that even with a couple of players off, and he does have the bench, so those bench players are going to be able to come on. And yeah, okay, they're unleveled linemen, but unleveled linemen are still assists, and there's still targets for throwing the ball to if you get desperate. So
yeah,
we'll see. It could go either way. Like, Sweltering Heat could take off all of Hayate's team for all we know.
And again, with Hayate not having Mighty Blow, it's somewhat unlikely that he's got that the orcs are going to be players down.
We will see.
Especially with having the bench advantage.
Having been outbashed by wood elves as playing as orcs, I can tell you that that's not always the case. I'm a little bit concerned about the Mighty Blower. Barvo standing out here. That's given him a sort of prime blitzing target, but it's just a push. Chooses not to re-roll it. Tucks him in behind the other blitzer.
Yeah, that would have been a greedy re-roll.
Yeah, I think so. Although you can kind of look at it. Were he to have got the cheering fans result, I think he might have thought, well, it's a free re-roll, I might as well take it just on the off chance I can take that player off. Sometimes re-rolling on the killer is completely justified. just skips through the tackle zone and runs into the backfield. Brave boy. It's going to be pretty difficult for Hayate to get support down there for him right now. And I don't necessarily think that this early on that Imarello's going to mind moving those blitzers back if he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
He left the left-hand side completely unmoved. I think he just stepped the guard player forward. So that area of the pitch is effectively covered off. Just playing that sort of high Orc line here.
Yeah, Hayate really has to reduce the amount of blocks he's taking.
Mm-hmm.
Because being down armor and being down in players, like you can't really play the dare to play the attrition game.
Yeah, if you're going to try and go toe-to-toe with Orcs in an attrition game, unless you've got claws coming out your butt, you're not really going to do all that well.
Yep.
Or, I suppose, horrible luck, like mine, you might get away with it. But Imarello, very, very good coach. Hayate, also a very, very good coach. As we say, though, Hayate's aggression may prove his undoing here. There has been an elf dodge from Imarello, but not a particularly impressive one. He just cut the corner here, running past Buonasilma, who failed to knock down winged Mouselike Elf. Names here are pretty great. Liquid Elf. Is that like Liquid Snake, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Comanche Superintendent. There must be some sort of theme behind these, because they're all really strange names.
Yeah, I never asked him about this.
Yeah, I mean, Viridian Flashlight and Molecule. I mean, what's that all about? I do like a good theme for a team naming scheme.
Oh, for sure.
I always get a bit sad when I see people with default names. Like,
Yeah,
use your creativity. Just call them really stupid things if you can't think of anything.
Yeah, I think Imarello let his children name his players.
Yeah, Imarello's team are named after his family, in fact. So several of the players are named after his kids.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Let's see how he deals with that lone threat in the backfield and whether he even bothers. You could make an argument for just pushing off to the left-hand side here, caging up there, but we'll see how he decides to play this. You'll notice that Imarello takes some time to sit back and think about what he's going to do. Okay, looks like he's bringing him up in front of that wall of block.
I mean, and that's what you should do, right?
Mm-hmm. Cage right
Like
in the
there was-
field.
The first thing that my mentor beat into me is take your time before making your turn.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to kind of take your time, think about where you're going to go. The advice that I was given is visualize where you want the ball to be at the end of the turn and what you need to do to get it there, and then do that. Because the other thing with it is, the old military phrase, no plan survives contact with the enemy. So invariably, if something goes wrong, you need to have that time where you've thought about where everything is to decide on alternatives and have some idea of what alternatives you'll have should something go wrong.
Yeah. And I mean, there are teams that are more reliable at doing what you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you play a team like, I don't know, Ogres, where pretty much every action you do is
Has an element
risky.
of risk, yeah.
Yep.
I think it's a good learning experience playing teams that are kind of unwieldy in that respect, because it
Oh,
does
for sure.
kind of get you to think on your feet and learn how to react to things that are happening on the pitch rather than just pick a plan and try and stick to it bloody mindedly to the point where it starts screwing you over.
Yeah, just like playing a slow team where you really have to learn positioning properly.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd say there's practically every cast that I do that I'm not playing in. Orcs are not so much a bash team as a control team because of their slowness. Okay, so he's skating forward a little bit. Looks like he's going to set up for a hit on the guard player. It looks like it may be Varag who's going to be taking that hit, given that seems to be the obvious choice. I'd like to see these blitzers come either back or forward a bit and threaten, but we'll see. Okay, tags up the blodger.
Hayate really has to watch out where he places his witch elves, because that mighty blow blitzer, tackle blitzer, is going to be so dangerous.
Yep. And witch elves break like their armor is made of papier-mâché and
Yes.
wishes.
I mean, they have wrestle, so that's a bit more survivability, but still.
Okay, Varag just steps in, so we may be seeing a blitz with the Mighty Blower. Yep, here we go. Blitz is in on the blodger. Gets the hit. And that's an armor break. And that's a dead straight off the bat. That is a big piece to lose. Do we see the Apo come out?
Ouch, ouch. Yeah, that's tricky. Do you Apo that?
I mean, we're talking the epitome of a sort of... And he does. That's the Apo burned. And it's to an injury. Let's see what it was. Smashed ankle. That's a move bust. That's some bad news there. Survivable. That's not the worst one that you could get, but that's still pretty brutal. Sure. And that is, as we say, picking your shot and hitting it. So like we were saying, that tackle Mighty Blower already proving his worth.
Didn't even need Mighty Blow there.
Nope. Didn't even need the Mighty Blow.
Double 6 on the injury. Solid start, so that's the bench gone.
Yep. So we've now got a couple of based up elves, and this is going to be interesting to see whether Hayate just decides to pull back completely and pull them all off with dodges, or whether he tries to sort of press in a bit after that rather brutal round 2 injury. So we could kind of glean some idea of how Hayate is going to play this from this turn in particular. I think you go. Sorry.
Sorry. I mean, this is tricky now because he has to screen off, but he also wants to get some punches in. And with being clumped up like this, Imarello is leaving him a lot of space to move.
Yes.
But he can't really use that because he has to keep the screen up.
Yeah, so he's giving him the opportunity to pull back if that's what he decides to do. And yeah, I would expect him to go into columns either this turn or the next turn at least.
Yeah.
He may try his luck with the based up elves that he has in getting at least one punch in to try and overturn that deficit a little bit with a bit of luck. But I think we're probably going to see some columns come out. Taking his time. Let's just check he's not... okay, it might be a pause or a disconnect. We will see. But yeah, not the greatest of starts for Hayate. Here we go, no. Blitz comes in. Gets the hit. No armor break.
I mean, that's another nice target to remove. Tackle guard.
Yep.
You want that gone.
Yeah, you definitely want that gone. Because that's going to make hitting those Black Hawks even worse, even harder if it's sitting in there in that cage. That cage is a nasty, nasty cage to be trying to get into when you don't have something like Leap. Yeah, okay, we're seeing the columns come out. It's taking the dodges first, which is interesting. I guess with the 3 sort of 2 are top right with the Witch Elf at the top. They're almost in a column already, so if the dodge does fail, A's got a reroll, and B, it's not the end of the world. But I would expect to see Tinder Disturbance move back out as well. We may see a Varag hit come in on Comanche Superintendent this next turn.
Yeah, which you don't want.
At this point, I think we have to look at Hayate's players as all being pretty valuable.
Oh yeah.
He's now 2 players behind in numbers. Not sure about keeping
and he has level on almost all of them. I mean, Comanche Superintendent is actually the... If there's one player he can lose, it's him, because he's an unskilled Lino. But being down a player already, even this guy is still super valuable to him, but he makes the dodge. So.
Yes. I'm not sure that I would personally like. I think leaving the kicker there is a bit of a mistake. I would have put the kicker back in behind Liquid Elf because that kicker could well win him the game, even if his player's down. You kick a short kick and then charge for it and rely on blodge or dodge to get through. That's always doable. So I'm not sure that that's the greatest of ideas. We'll see which one he goes for. He's kind of opening the field up a bit here as well. So this middle column looks a bit vulnerable. We'll see how Imarello responds. Hayate's basically given him the run of the pitch here in that there's no pressure coming in from the side, so he can basically pick a side, pick an angle to go through, and just kind of chip away at him until he gets an opening.
I mean, it is a slow cage with these Black Orcs.
Okay, so Hodgie, columns. The way that columns work is when you have columns that are 2 spaces apart, you cannot get through them without making dodges, because the most that you can do if they're all stood off is punch out the person at the tip of the column. You can't really move through both of them unless you have players basing them. So what you're doing is essentially it's a stalling tactic, and then what you keep doing is dodging back out and reforming those columns, and essentially you're trying to waste your opponent's time trying to get through those columns so that they can't get to the end zone in time. It's not an ideal strategy if you're going for an aggressive defence. Looks like we are going for the kicker. I think that's a really good shout. That would be my natural target here, because while the blodger is a really useful player, that kicker is a game winner. I do recall a conversation about fouling targets, and we did put that kicker on the list. So,
but I mean, if you manage to remove it with Mighty Blow,
exactly, that's that kick gone, and that kick is such an underrated skill to a certain extent. Although I think everyone says it's an underrated skill, so it's not actually. It's just perceived as one.
Yeah.
But yeah, this cage is grinding its way forward at quite a clip, actually. I mean, we're on turn 3 and we're already over the halfway line, which is always a good sign for Orcs. We'll see where... Okay, here we go. Here comes the blitz. It is onto the kicker. Just a push, though.
Lucky there.
Very lucky there. That means that he'll be able to reform that column next turn.
This is really tough to respond to from a Hayate side.
Especially with all that beef in the middle. I mean, you've got...
Yeah, you're never ever going to get into that cage.
Nope. Not unless you do something really crazy, or you just stack on one of those blocks and get a lucky hit in on them. And even then, Varag is there. Varag just blitzes you off again.
And with that many players, you can't even really pressure him into scoring quickly.
Nope. No, this is basically Imarello is setting the pace here, which is what, as an Orc coach, you really need to be doing. You need to be dictating how fast everything is going, and if you can do that, invariably you can win. So yeah, Hayate at the moment, if he is going to keep this columns up, okay, so Imarello runs Becca back, I guess to stop him from looping round and covering that back of the cage, and then putting pressure on the back. I can see why he's done that. But yeah, with the columns, really what you're doing is you're trying to stall him out so that you can then pick your spot for trying to recover the ball. Bases up. So bases up the wrestler and one of the witch elves.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that guard blitzer there, that's a really nice position for him because it prevents favorable dice on both the blitzer and the Black Orc.
Imarello should be marking players, but not at the expense of that solid cage that he's got. So he's marked up this column on the left of his cage. So there's a couple of elves here who are going to have to dodge to get out, which is good because you're forcing dice rolls, and invariably people roll at least a few ones a game. I don't think I've ever seen a game where where one side didn't roll any. So and he's still got options for going forward here. I mean, I would expect to see a column perhaps form up behind Comanche Superintendent here, and then another one probably behind Dove Person, or Dove Person will tuck in behind Liquid Elf. I would probably pull Liquid Elf back to the left one, and then put Dove Person behind him. Yeah, so here we go. Here's the columns coming in. We may well see that kicker be the front of that column again, in which case I would expect to see a hit go in on that kicker again. You know, yeah, he had a lucky escape last time. I don't think that Hayate's quite realised that that kicker is as much of a target as he is. We will probably see these other elves come round over the top, possibly keep one column on the side to stop him from moving this cage to the left. And then we'll see these two dodge out. Yeah, okay, so we're actually going to try and take this blitzer.
I mean, fair enough. It's the only reasonable blitz target.
Yeah. I think Imarello knew that, used it just as a means of stopping that elf charge round behind to where these two Black Orcs without block are. Hodgie, yeah, you can argue that the AG5 guy is more important. I would say that's true, but like I said, kick can win you a game. So having that kicker get drilled off the field would be pretty disadvantageous if this goes to extra time and the toss is won, or if there is another drive where the ball is kicked to Imarello.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough because being down one blitzer already means that the remaining blitzers are even more valuable because they have block and most of the other guys don't. I mean, this basically comes down to Hayate can't afford to lose more players.
Yeah, absolutely. And he is going aggressive on this left-hand push. I think he may be trying for a hit on Anti on the left here. It's going to be rough, though.
Yep.
I mean, Sparrow at the moment is completely orphaned. You want to bring Sparrow back in so that they can affect things and act as another line of defence. At the moment, they're kind of off on the side, doing not very much of anything.
Yeah, and
okay,
now
so
with...
he goes for the one die, gets the one die.
Oh, cheeky.
Very cheeky.
And he has to be super careful with his frenzy witches because they're in so much danger of getting drawn into this mosh pit of orcs where two Mighty Blow players lurk.
Yeah, all it really takes is for one of those witches to take a nasty hit, and then that's half of Hayate's sort of offensive punch taken down.
Yep.
We know that Hayate loves to serve people as well, so I would expect to see Imarello try and keep away from the sidelines as much as possible. You may see this cage not really move this next turn.
And he doesn't have to. I mean,
nope, he's got plenty of time.
And this is 3 players based, so he can deal out some punches now.
Yeah, I would expect to see Imarello try and stall out scoring until turn 8. If at all possible, because obviously the sweltering heat is a factor.
Yep. And as Ellie mentioned, sweltering heat is potentially more dangerous for orcs because they're slow.
Yeah, exactly. So, just deciding who he's going to hit, I guess.
I mean, I would blitz probably the blotcher there.
Yeah, that blodger is a fairly prime target. I think looking at... You've got a couple of guard players here who are viable targets as well, because getting rid of guard is going to make taking those Black Orcs out even more difficult.
Yep.
You could even make an argument for hitting Tinder Disturbance and then moving in on the Witch.
Oh yeah, sure.
But we'll see what he goes for.
Yeah, I think this was too aggressive from Hayate.
I think this crushing in on the left-hand side was probably too aggressive, yeah. This gives him a little bit too many options in terms of high-value or decent-value targets to hit. Imarello, I think we might be on a pause again, because I've just reset the clock by pausing it. So we're either on a pause or a disconnect or something like that. Hopefully this game is not going to be marred by technical issues.
Oh no, please not.
Oh, okay. Maybe not. Maybe it's just tricks being played. We have a move in. Here we go.
Oh, lucky there. Mighty Blow not doing
very
anything. Well, that was close. That was a 7.
That was a 7. Varric steps forward, so I think we're going to see the cage just move that. Yeah, there we go.
And you can do that with orcs.
Oh yeah, absolutely, especially in this kind of situation. So we've now got the cage based, but it's such a tough cage that it's going to be difficult to punch into it. Blitzer stands up and forms the front of that line. I think we'll see those Black Orcs move up as well. And then I would expect to see some sort of hit come in on the left-hand side.
So the witch is safe from getting blitzed.
The witch is currently safe.
That's something.
Yeah, here comes the hit. And now, I think we're going to see potentially a follow here, and then the tackle blitzer will move up to base the witch. So that's a witch having to dodge off of tackle.
Another super close armor roll.
Mm-hmm. Not to make a pun, but this has been quite cagey so far, other than that initial battering.
Blocking that wrestle player means that he's getting one less hit in, because now the tackle guard blitzer isn't basing anyone.
Yes, correct. He may be thinking that tackle guard blitzer can get up there and base up the witch, though. That does kind of leave Becca isolated, so you may well see Bilka move into the side. I'm not sure that he wants to commit Bilka just yet, though. I think having him more free is probably a better idea. But we'll see. You've got a Dark Elf with guard who can get in behind the cage now, but that doesn't really seem like it will be all that much benefit.
No.
Yeah, okay, just closes the back off. So just reinforces those blocks with the guard. Alright, so there's only really one obvious hitting target here for Hayate, which is Becca.
Yeah, and I think he has to commit too many players to blocking the the Black Orc there.
Yes. Yeah, so we will see. Yeah, there was just a push, so that actually pushes Becca free and back in towards the cage. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with this guard blitzer with Molecule, whether Molecule is going to loop around or is going to be pulled back into a sort of more defensive formation. Given the sort of level of aggression that Hayate's shown already, we may well see that attempt at looping around. Okay, here comes the blitz. Just a push again.
That's not what you want.
Nope. Especially on the Black Orcs.
Yeah, man, those Black Orcs, like, as soon as they get block, they're so hard to get down.
Block and guard makes them absolutely nightmarish to play against.
And then give them stand firm and have the most annoying...
Yep.
Well, not the most annoying. There are things like War Dancers and
Oh, we have a failed dodge.
And everyone knows as soon as elves start rolling once, they're in trouble.
Yep. Gets a 6 on the reroll. But that is going to make that dodge off of the Black Orc and the Blitzer with Dove Person a little bit scarier. Same with Comanche Superintendent.
Yep.
If we are going to see those dodge, then there's a bit more risk involved there.
And neither of them has dodge, so...
And Imarello now has a reroll for every turn until the end of the half.
Oh, you're right, it's 4 rerolls.
One thing that I've noted about Imarello is his reroll discipline is actually very excellent. So he won't reroll things unless he absolutely has to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we could well see some rerolled hits coming in here. Yeah, first dodge goes off.
And I mean, so far there wasn't a reason to reroll anything.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Like with block on most of his players, he's pretty much out of 1 and 9 hell.
And he fails the second dodge.
That's very unlucky. 2
Very,
failed
very
dodges in a turn.
And that is a witch at the point of a column.
Yep.
Although, personally, I might be more tempted to go for the Agi up.
Yeah.
It's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other at the moment. So we will see.
I mean, the edgy up guy spent most of his time off the pitch in the last match because he got KO'd and refused to come back.
It's when they get sweltering heated and then they get KO'd immediately after coming back on. You're like, well, what even was the point in hiring you?
Yeah.
I think there's potentially a foul on here. So, okay, we're bringing the Black Orc round. We're moving that Blitzer in. So we've now got a based up Witch Elf and a based up Agi up player. And basically that gives him the options. I think we're not likely to see him move the oh, here we go. Here comes the blitz. It is on the Agi up player, and it's good. And that's an armor break, and that's another death.
Holy crap!
Oh, that is a horrible player to lose, and he's used his Zappo.
That hurts so much.
That hurts so much. That is a dead stat freak, everyone. Dead stat freak.
Yeah, press F for respect. Holy crap.
Yeah, F's in chat. F's in chat, everyone. But that is a brutal hit.
I mean, that Blitzer has gotten 2 kills now?
Yeah, 2 kills. And that is a based up Witch Elf with that killer Blitzer. That cage can reform right in front there. And he can basically stall this out for the next 2 turns.
Yeah, and that was Mighty Blow doing a thing there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was Mighty Blow firing off and just murderizing some elf.
Oh, poor Hayate. This isn't really going his way.
No, this is really rough on him at the minute. Yeah, so that's a dead Blitzer re-rolled into a movement bust, and then a dead Agi up Blitzer.
And I mean, what are you doing at this point? Like, he's not going to get too many blocks in, so the chances of keeping up in the attrition game aren't there.
Exactly. Really, your only option here is to pick a target, drop them, and start fouling them. Flaming Dude, the Agi up Blitzer died.
I mean, just your average Agi 5 Blitzer.
Yeah. Agi 5 elves are a bane, though, and they all deserve to die. So while I sympathise with Hayate, I don't very much.
No, for sure. The world is a better place now.
Yes. Balance has been restored to the Force.
Yeah, as Hachi said, his only hope now is one of his only... He has to roll well with the heat.
Yeah, absolutely. That might be his way back into this. The reroll fails. But he's got rerolls to spare.
Orc GFIs are 3+.
Orc GFIs are a lie. That's based that column up from the top now.
That's a nice position.
Really nicely positioned. Worth burning the reroll for. And we've got that tackle Blitzer sitting pretty on the back corner here. Just leaves him there. I mean, I would have been tempted to bring the tackle Blitzer in and close off the back of the cage again, but I don't really disagree with that positioning. He may well view that as the one target on the field that he can get to who's worth hitting, but if he does that, he's basically ceding this half to Imarello. But yeah, it's a struggle to see how Hayate gets back into this with those 2 huge removals, and just the way that he's been playing so far has not really been conducive to being players down.
Yeah. And the star player didn't do too much so far. But I don't think he has to.
No, he just has to be there and huge.
To prevent any elf bullshit from even happening.
And the one thing that is worth noting about him as well is that he's Agi 3, so if you do need to break through and score as a last-minute thing, he's a movement 6 Blork, so you just hand off to him and then hit that blitz button, and odds are on, if he's only got to get past one player to get there, he's probably getting there.
Yeah, I mean, look at that cage. That's 5 strength 4 players there.
5 strength 4 players. It's just Varag is probably the best possible pick you could take in a matchup like this. It's just like it's such a tough thing to play against.
Hey Frodo, well Hayate is doing in a way that 2 of his blitzers are down. One of them, the Agi 5, is dead. The other one is movement busted.
And was Apple.
Not doing too well.
Okay, so he's in on the ball with that blitz. But there's a tackle guard blitzer sitting here just waiting to punch him out.
Yep.
So we are seeing some aggressive basing going on from Hayate here. That star player would be Varag Ghoul-Chewer, who is a jump up, block, mighty blow, thick skull, strength 4, agi 3 orc with move 6. He's a really, really kick-ass star player.
Do you know how expensive he is?
260, I think. So.
Yeah.
So there would have been some scumming going on there.
Alright, Hayate's pulling up the aggression now, which is...
He's trying to pop the ball free to the witch so he can try and sack it, I think.
Yeah.
It'll be a red die.
Oh,
is he gonna push him
fancy
back?
chain pushing there.
Yep, chain pushes.
That I like.
That is very, very effective chain pushing.
I mean, that's the risk of having so many players in a tight spot.
Mm-hmm. It's the risk of having really tight cages. But
Yeah.
I still can see this not really being that much of a problem. There's so much strength on the pitch there. If the ball does get dropped somewhere in the middle of all that, it's going to bounce around a bit. But we'll see. We'll see. That probably was the best move that he possibly could have taken if it were a little risky. And that is going to be a wrestle, I think.
Has to. Oh, rerolls.
Yeah, it could be a reroll. Yeah, rerolls it. And it's a push. So we're going to see another chain push here. Yeah, we are. So the throw gets popped into the middle there.
And I like the play.
Yeah, I do too. I think that was the right choice. Does he
I
chain
mean, he's
push him
completely
again?
isolated the thrower, the ball
Yeah.
carrier now.
Does he chain push again here? No, he doesn't. Just pushes the black orc out.
Yeah.
I really would not want to be those witch elves right now.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
excellent play by Hayate there.
This might delay the orc turn by enough.
It could. It certainly could.
But this also, I think this obviously has the potential of backfiring hugely because so many of his players are based.
I think the other thing here is that putting Sparrow there means that you can literally just blitz into Tinder Disturbance and then start your own chain push. So you can chain push the thrower back into next to the Black Orc from here.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can't actually because it's not an unoccupied space. My bad. But you've got to tackle Mighty Blower on the witches at the moment. So it's a bit spooky right now, I have to say. We will see. In theory, you could stop him from scoring and then not have a team left to capitalise on.
I mean, elves don't need many players to score. We all know that.
True, but if he
these
stops him from
aren't
scoring,
Wolves.
and
These aren't the quickest team.
And if it's a dark elf team down to 4 or 5 players versus a full orc squad, I don't really fancy his chances even then.
Rough spot.
It's certainly a rough spot. I guess it's playoffs, so you've got to take the big plays and the big risks and hope that they pay off. Okay, here come the hits. No armor break.
Man, being without an Epino is so scary.
Every time those dice roll.
It does look like a Hayate's desperate situation.
Yep. Alright. So there's a couple of really clean hits here that you can take.
Yes.
That's a push. Follows it in. Now that chain push is on.
Yep.
Let's see if he spots it. Star player has strength 4, Frodo.
Yeah, it's basically a Black Orc on steroids.
Turbo Black Orc.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be chain pushing by hitting Tinder Disturbance from the bottom. Chain push the thrower into the space where Bunasilma is lying down right now and move Bunasilma up, stand Bunasilma up, hit the Witch Elf, and then hit Neat Elf as well. Doesn't look like he's going for that right away. He's going to take the hit on the right hand side. I would have liked to have seen that Mighty Blow player used to hit one of the witches, but that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, that would have been a nice way to counter the chain pushes that Hayate did.
Like chain push back, but he can still chain push. It's going to make it more difficult to clear the ball area. Okay, so we're seeing a block assist go in, I think. Yeah, I'm not... Has he seen it? He has. That is the chain push. Ah, that's unfortunate. I think you re-roll that.
Yeah.
I mean, he has the
re-rolls.
Yep, and no joy, unfortunately.
Did you discuss chain pushes with him?
We didn't really. But we did discuss various tactics for defending against Dark Elves. That was actually primarily the focus. I think he was more confident about the attacking drive than he was the defensive one. But this is still... I think you're going to have to think about taking a block with the ball carrier here and then just relying on there not being enough weight of numbers to take the ball out of your hands next turn.
Yeah. I mean, at least one of the Witch Elves... Well, not technically, they both can still die, because both of them are based. No.
And that Witch Elf is now in a sandwich. So those Witch Elves aren't dodging anywhere right now. They know how to red die their way out.
But both of them survived the turn.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something.
Indeed. I think we'll see a hit on the Blodger here. Neat Elf. And then possibly one on the Blodge Tackler as well. He can chain push one guard piece away, so that is true. That is certainly something that he could do. Opts not to. That's an odd choice. Oh, actually, that's not that unclever. That gets the...
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that, actually. That's a good choice. Dodge fires. Pushes him and follows. Not sure about that one. There's a wrestle hit on the ball now, but...
Yeah, and I think I would have pushed that guy next to the tackle blitzer.
Yeah, indeed. I think I would have done too. But he has made it somewhat safer than it being based by like 3 or 4 players. And if that ball does go loose, then it is eminently recoverable from this sort of position.
It's nice that it's nice for Hayate that the guard blitzer is down.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, with dodging one of his guard's linos in, he can get... and then taking away the assist from the Black Orc, he can get a 2-die on the ball carrier with the wrestle player.
Yeah, the question though is where does he go with it from there? So can you get away with it? But we'll see. But yeah, Rand says he would have scored, which would be the best strategy, which arguably true.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, even getting the ball down is worth
it. Yeah, absolutely.
Because Imarello is running out of time.
Yes. Oh, dodges him out. That's interesting.
All right. I mean, so now he's going to blitz with Sparrow there.
Yes, I think so. Dodges out, brings the guard in. Yeah, so I think we're going to see the dodge come in from Sparrow onto Hayate. And re-rolls it immediately into a power.
Oh. So out of rerolls now.
Oh, that's a bad scatter for him, though.
I mean, you could try to push... No, you can't.
I mean, you could attempt to red die onto it, I guess. Oh, no, wait. Actually, that is a 2-die because of the guard. Oh, that's a stun. Scatters the ball. And the Black Hawk catches it!
Holy crap. so that's a turnover.
Oh,
No, it's not.
It's not a turnover. It's just a catch. But that's really not a great result for him. There's a possibility of seeing this Black Orc popped free by taking the hit on Miracle Female with Varagultua after taking the hit with Barvo. Oh, yeah, he's spotted it. So Barvo is now going to take the hit on Crevasse the Thicket Gal, I think. But he's going to have to bring someone in to assist with that one. So yeah, this is tough stuff. We'll see how this one pans out.
I think Hayate is actually doing all right.
Yeah, I do too. I think Hayate.
I mean, that scatter was unlucky, and the Black Orc catching is super unlucky.
Yeah.
But he is super. He is, like as I said.
Red dies and scars.
Oh.
That's unfortunate. Doesn't get injured though. That said, though, it's now 2 hits just to clear that ball off, and then that Black Orc can essentially go a bit potato.
Yeah, and he's in reach.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even have to hand off. And with a touchdown, he would level up.
Yes. I wouldn't want to try handing off with the Black Orc. I think you just score with the Black Orc if you can. There is a chain push on here as well, so you could pop him free. He can convoy with the blocks, that is absolutely true.
Yep.
So yeah, you take the hit with the block here, you push the witch so that you push the block onto the square where the witch is, and then all you got to do really is blitz through an unleveled lino and take a hit here. He goes for the hit just straight off. Pushes the witch out. Doesn't follow it, which is interesting.
But I mean, man, these witches.
They've certainly gotten away with it a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the hit going in on Mighty Blow, and Neat Elf is down. Oh, and that's a KO.
So that's 3 blitzes gone.
3 blitzes gone. There's only 2 turns left in the half.
Rough.
Yeah. There's going to be a bit of potato going on here, I think. He's going to have to try and remove some of these players just to stop any sort of shenanigans going on. But saying that, once that Black Orc moves, you can get your thrower up to cover the Witch Elf, and then get your second blitzer Becca in to cover Comanche Superintendent. So it's going to be dodges off to try and get there.
And Hayate is down to 1 block player.
And no rerolls.
Yeah, and he's really gonna need both of these guys to come back for the second drive, and not have Sweltering Heat be a bitch.
Yes, which is entirely possible. Gets another POW. So we could have a couple of Black Orcs moving up the field imminently. If you blitz with the... Ooh, that's just a stun.
But still, that's a guard player stunt.
So you could see a blitz with Aksu onto the Witch Elf here to free him up so that he can run up the pitch and act as support. At the moment, there's only really 2-3 players because you've got Crevasse the Thicket Gal as well, the downed witch here, who could potentially jump up and catch. But if there's 2 Black Orcs standing shoulder to shoulder, that's going to be a tough sell. You've also got the thrower here, who could potentially, as your last act of the turn, move in and sort of try and stop the witch from moving with a couple of GFIs. But we'll see how he plays it. There's a couple of players here who are now free to kind of move in. Thrower moves up to the right-hand side. So we could see a wrestle hit here. On the kicker.
Blitz is still up.
Blitz is still up, yeah. So there is still a blitz on. Just the push on the witch, but pushes it into the middle of that pack.
Yeah, I think getting that 2-die on the ball carrier was the one shot for Hayate in this drive, and then he got unlucky with the scatter and the
Black Orc catch. Yeah.
But still, that was nicely done.
But I think with the reroll that you have, you run the Black Orc diagonally off to the left as far as he'll go. Blitzes, so he's going to use the Blitzer to support. Oh! And that's a KO on the Witch.
Whew. I mean, it was bound to happen.
It was bound to happen with those Witches in there.
He was in contact so many times.
Yeah, Blitzer goes up. So that block can move 4 without taking GFIs. Oh, he just tucks him in. I think you have to run forward here. It's turn 7.
That's risky.
That's really risky. I mean, where's he going to go? He can't score if he's still there. I think you have to move him forward so that he's at least within GFIs of getting there. And you're not going to get much better positions than this. Like, is he debating passing it to Varag or something? I mean, you know, handing it off? I just can't... There's practically nobody who can score here. Oh, he double skulls it.
Oh!
He's left the block there. I'm not sure what he's done with that.
No, that's
bad turn. Like,
I mean, none of his players are above edgy 3.
Yeah.
So I have seen safer things fail.
I can't fathom why he's left the block there. I mean, the block should have just run for the end zone. You'd run him up diagonally and take the... Yeah, he must have missed that he's in turn 7. He's going to have to hand it off to Varag Gultur, I think, and then score with him or hand off to Becker the Blitzer.
I mean, I would hand off to Becker.
Yeah, but Becker is sitting out there on their own at the moment. So
yeah, and he gets a level if he scores.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a handoff to the Blitzer here. That must be what he's going for.
Well, I mean, this also means that it's somewhat easy to prevent a score now.
Yeah.
Get Becker down.
There are no rerolls for the Delves, so that does mean that actually stopping the Blitzer is going to be a rough task, given where the Delves are positioned. You've got a couple who can get there with GFIs, but realistically speaking, the only one who can really take a hit is Comanche Superintendent, without taking some horrible dodges. But yeah, you can just base the Blitzer, but then there's a blitz through on it. Yeah. Crazy dodges and GFIs can make things bad here. We'll see.
I mean, this is a throw enough players at it situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I would have been tempted just to potato the block last turn.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's probably the safer option. Yeah, here we go. Bases the Blitzer.
And even a handoff to Varag, that's still 2 GFIs he has to make.
Yeah. 2 GFIs.
If there are no players in the way.
Yeah. Okay, there goes the dodge.
There was something.
It was something. It certainly was.
Because
I mean, the other option that you can do is...
If both of the chaos come back now,
yeah,
Hayate's down just 1 player.
The other option that you could do here is you hand off to Varag and then you blitz through Comanche Superintendent with Varag and use the extra square of movement to mean that you only have to take 1 GFI. Wrestler is going to go and sit alongside him, so that makes that much less appealing. Although that said, you then blitz through the Wrestler, I guess, and the Kicker rather. Are we going to see the Witch Elf try and dodge out?
I mean, she has to. She has to do the blitz now.
Yeah, the Blitzer can blitz himself free at the moment. It's with an assist from a Black Orc. But it's still going to be a handoff to get there. So, I mean, I would be more tempted to hand off to Varag and then use Varag to run through and just take the risk of the GFIs. Blitz through Dove Person for an extra... no, you can't do that for an extra square movement now because of the player next to him. But, yeah, 1, 2... Yeah, blitz. Push him off. So, 1, 2, So you're blitzing here, don't follow, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, here comes the hit.
Oh, dodges out of tackle.
Mm-hmm. Gets the POW.
So that's one scoring threat gone.
Yes. So I think it is just really down to Varag now.
And you have to GFI now to get in contact, right?
Yeah, there would have to be a GFI to get in contact. That's probably the worst thing you could have done.
You lose a movement because that's the movement you make with the blitz, like with the following up.
Yeah.
So he doesn't lose a square.
Yeah, the following up would mean that he doesn't lose the square, so you can still score by passing it to Varag and then blitzing through Molecule.
Man, Imarello has made this so much harder than it was necessary.
Yeah, he really has. Yeah, so the handoff's going to have to go off, and then the 1, 2, 3, blitz, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, blitz, follow, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I mean, not moving that Blackhawk was basically giving Hayate the biggest chance of drawing this first drive.
So I think you move Becca in 1 to base the 2 elves here. You move up Barvo. Well, no, you don't move up Barvo at that point. You move Becca in to mean that you're not losing that square of movement moving sideways. Oh no, he's decided he's not going to score. Or if he is, he's going to do it by trying to cut a corner. I mean, there's an elf hole there, but that's not enough squares of movement.
I mean, she is a juicy target for...
A really juicy target. But yeah, I can't see that. That's just a stun. I can't see him scoring now.
No, so now Varag has to do dodges.
Varag has to dodge. Admittedly, he's Agi 3, but yeah, you're going to have to dodge past the kicker, I guess.
So here we go.
Fails the catch and the boat fires off. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, Hayate's saying thank you now.
Mm-hmm. Hayate's a happy boy right now.
Yep.
But we'll see what the sweltering heat does.
Oh yeah. I wonder how many blocks Hayate got in the first drive.
Yeah, not a massive amount, I don't think.
Not a massive amount, no.
We'll see what sweltering heat does. Okay, so he's taking the... just a bounce.
Yeah, that should be it.
Yeah, that should be it. There's not really much else to do here.
No, he doesn't have a scoring threat.
So I'm going to have to mute myself again, but we'll see what happens first. So
yeah, scream at him.
both of them stay down.
Oh.
And sweltering heat has taken off lineman, a Blackhawk, and a blitzer. The blitzer, the tackle guard blitzer, and none of the dark elves. But
so that's
yeah, that's pretty brutal.
That's interesting.
Right, I'm going to mute for a second.
Yeah. So, of course, with these guys not coming back, that's super unfortunate. But the sweltering heat was really in Hayate's favor there. So he's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players to what, 10? He had a bench of 2. Oh, he has a top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so being down 2 players after that first drive really isn't too shabby, especially with Imarello not having scored. So I hope that Ghostos is now giving him a stern talk for that Black Orc move there. Man, crazy game. I mean, so far all of those playoff matches have been pretty watchable. There are 8 Dark Elves on the pitch. Yeah, pray for the... Yeah. I mean, now a kickoff event could really turn this whole game around. Because Hayate sure has enough players to score. These are elves after all. I mean, it is unfortunate that he's down to 1 block player. Well, Frode, you're playing North, right? Wasn't that North mirror match? So, I mean, 11 versus 2 sounds like snowballing there. I mean, armor 7 is only adamantium if you're up against higher armor. If both are armor 7, then, man, players die. Yes, exactly. Even elf liners have the potential of being a game winner. And I mean, he's used to having his edgy 5 blitzer out of the game, because that's exactly what happened in the last match against Kronk. So if he wins, his movement bust. I won't fire this guy, especially now after having lost the other blitzer, because you do need those guys. And movement bust isn't the worst thing that could have happened to him. Like strength bust, sure, that would have been a fire, but movement bust, he can still do his job. Whereas, oh, what went out by the way? So that's 2 block gone, 1 tackle guard gone. So that's nice, and a wrestler gone. So now Imarello is having to play with 4 unskilled players. I don't think there was a like 1-9 event in the first drive, so he was. I mean, it's not likely to happen when most of your guys have block. I think these 2 guys were the only left on the field without block. But the risk is up there right now. Taking his time for the setup. So let's see what Hayate does now.
Okay, I'm back.
Hey, man.
Yeah, Swattering Heat there was a bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this pans out. But that was one of the block blocks that went off as well, so that's unfortunate. Guard tackle as well is a big loss.
Yes.
Wrestle lineman, not so much, but still a pretty useful piece. So we're now playing with 2 unleveled linos and a player down, I believe. However, that runner is now on the field and could well get punched in the face. We'll see how this goes. I would expect Hayate is going to go on the aggressive because he has that player up. But if there's a blitz here, this could be really nasty.
I mean, Hayate's not up a player.
No, it's equal actually, isn't it?
No, he's down 2 players.
Oh, yeah, because the KOs didn't come back. Of course. Yep. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Just imagine, like, Sweltering Heat taking out 3 orcs and both his chaos coming back.
Yeah, then that would be the time to go super aggressive. But it looks like he's going for a fairly offensive setup here as well. Yeah, we will see. This is high drama in the playoffs here.
Yes.
You'd have to say that this favours Hayate because it's the second half with him receiving the ball. I will switch the view around now. We'll see where the kick goes. cheering fans, so extra reroll for the Smasherz. That's a great kick.
That's a really great kick.
And
I think he mentioned
we'll
his
follow
runner
the
not doing anything useful so far except getting 2 MVPs.
Yeah, and then picking up dodge as a result. So yeah, we are going to see just how useful a runner is as an additional player. So the runner's going off for the ball, I think. I would have been tempted to pick up on the witch, I think. But each their own. He's got time.
Oof.
Oof. Wrestle hit straight away. No armor break. No armor break there either, so that line will get straight back up again.
Yeah, now he has to blitz with either a kick player or a guard player.
If he even chooses the blitz at all, he may just try and screen off to try and stop the Orcs from getting into the backfield.
Yeah, I think blitzing is too risky.
Giving up the line of scrimmage there, though.
Yeah, he's not blitzing.
Yeah, he's going to pick up with the witch. So I think we're going to see the witch move into the middle of the field here.
I mean, this is interesting now because now there's huge pressure on Imarello to prevent a score.
Yeah, there is. And the thing to note with Sweltering Heat as well is that Imarello is guaranteed to get those 3 players back at the end of the drive. So they will, even if the Sweltering Heat continues, they will come back for any extra time that happens.
Yeah.
So assuming that there's no down in this half, which obviously is not a given. But yeah, so while they're guaranteed to come back, the KOs on the Dark Elf side are not. So they're still 50-50 to come back. So I guess we're just going to see whether there are more removals here, or whether it kind of holds steady for a bit while the sort of coaches jockey for position.
And if Hayate manages to score late enough, Orcs are not a quickly scoring team.
No, they're not. The best they can really do is 3 turns.
Yeah, so Hayate might win while being brutally crippled.
And that being said, if you have to potato to score, the Varag Gulchu is not the worst player you can use to potato for 3 turns to score.
Yep.
Okay, so we're seeing a line forming along the line of scrimmage here. There may not even be a blitz coming here. But I would have thought that you would, if you are going to see a blitz, it'd be a blitz onto Sparrow.
Oh, for sure. Remove that last block player.
That is a blitzer being used as a safety. I think we're going to see a second safety, in fact. Yep. And then, yeah, I think your obvious blitzing target here is Sparrow. And unfortunately, just the push.
Not good enough.
So I think the obvious target here for a blitz is Barvo, but there's no real obvious target to take the blitz with. No really obvious blitzing player at the moment. Okay, so guard goes in to provide an assist. We can see the hit come in on Barvo now. Yep, just a push. Yeah, for my money, you don't follow that one.
No. God, no. Like, he basically has to play like he's underworld at this point.
Stick and move, essentially.
Yeah, and be super careful with positioning your blitzer.
Because that's really his only offensive piece left, especially with the the witch carrying. Although I would have been tempted to pass to the to hand off to the runner there so that you can use the witch as a second defensive piece. But instead, he's just going to sit the witch back and then try and pick a side when he sees an opportunity to get forward. At the moment, that sort of tight line is kind of preventing any forward motion, though. So I think we'll see dodgers off to consolidate. Just try and limit the amount of hits that can get in. Yep, dodges away. So I think we're already seeing that Hayate is essentially looking as though he's committing to running down the left-hand side of the pitch here.
Yeah, I mean, breaking through is going to be really tough with those two safety blitzers in the back.
It's going to be even tougher with the ball being carried by the only other offensive piece on the pitch at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, having 4 strength 4 players is crucial here for
Absolutely.
Imarello. Because, I mean, while having 2 guard players is really useful now, Hayate really can't commit any players to blocking. And Imarello can be super aggressive with basing.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's going to be so difficult to actually knock those Blackhawks down now.
Yeah,
but,
and I mean, he has to make those elves roll the dice.
Make the elves roll the dice, and then hope that they fail, and if they don't, that you're getting enough hits in that you can get the removals in.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably see a blitz on Sparrow again here. What he really needs to do is step the Blackhawk in across so that he's basing to get a really sort of meaty hit on there. Just tucks those safeties in again. Having those Blackhawks all in the middle of the field like that means that they can actually get to the sides, especially with one of them having move 6. Okay, so we're actually seeing a hit on... push. That's very smart.
Yeah, like
very
that.
Smart. That's not a nice place for that blitzer to be.
No.
And that is a solid line of block along the front there as well.
Yeah, and Hayate's problem now is that how far do you move the witch?
How close do you want to get?
Yeah.
Are you just going to sort of prowl around at backfield and then try and make a run for it when you get a chance? Okay, so we're seeing commitment come in from one of the safeties. And the thrower is going back to play safety as well.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. It's a block player.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a bit slow, but you've got time. You can see them coming. Tackle goes off. No armor break, though.
Saved. Imagine Hayate's heart rate right now.
Every time those block dice roll, his heart rate must jump by about 30 or 40.
Yep.
So yeah,
being
I'm liking
forced to use that apple so early in the game.
Yeah, exactly. So every time those armor breaks go in, it's even worse. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Imarello's defending here. It's aggressive while not being too aggressive. So it's still covering most of the pitch. And he's keeping some players who are unoccupied so that they can get in and take hits. You've got those 3 blocks in the middle and then a 4th one who's currently unassigned. I don't know if he'll remain unassigned, but you've got 2 safety players back there, and really that's sensible because you don't necessarily need them. Yeah, that's kind of hindsight, Hodgie. I mean, it was a blitzer, and it was a blodge blitzer, so it was a pretty important piece. But yeah, you can argue that. I think that's 6 of one and a half, a dozen of another. Some people would say it was a mistake. Other people would say it was justified. I might have been tempted to use it myself there. Alright, so just push.
Yeah, I think moving the Blackhawk there was a mistake.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Because
I think if I was going to bring him in, I would have based up the guard.
No, not the guard. Like, bring him next to like 1 square above the star player, because that would have prevented the 2 die on a blitz.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Wasn't punished for it though.
No.
And there's currently an unleveled lino looking down the barrel of a blitzer. So we'll see what happens here. I don't know if he brings the witch up to the left-hand side somewhere and then tries to dodge out and screen off, but at the moment it's looking a little bit like all of the options are kind of bad. I think Hayate's got off a little bit lightly considering that he did do so much aggressive basing in that last half. And he could have lost a lot more players out of that.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit unlucky with the KOs not coming back. So I think we're going to see... Ah, okay. Pushes the blitzer off.
So now Imarello's problem becomes that his Black Orcs are super slow.
Yeah.
I think next turn is going to be crucial for them because otherwise they're going to be out of the action for at least 2 turns.
I think what you do is you take the hit with Daniel on Molecule and then you take the hit... Oh, Molecule runs away, so you don't. Okay, I think there's a point where you kind of have to accept that you're going to get players hit because that means that Black Orc can now get in around the side of where this ball is.
Yeah.
You basically freed them all up. So... we will see.
Yeah, the video buffering is happening for me too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you watching via the stream?
Yes. Both cable as well as stream.
Yeah, okay, I'm seeing that as well. Let me just see if I can fix that. I do apologise for that, folks.
It's alright.
I don't know if it's possible to fix it. It might just be that we need to ride it out for a moment. Hopefully it'll level itself back off. Just bear with.
Yeah, so we're seeing Hayate hugely committing to one side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is an all or nothing play.
Yeah, and this is where the Orcs can basically start putting the squeeze on.
Yeah.
The only downside to it is that at the moment the free players are all blorks, so they can't really get around behind. But yeah, we may just see him try and hold the front here. I'm hoping he's not going to commit too many blorks to that left-hand side, because if he does, he's not going to be able to get them back to cover. But he does have those 2 safety players.
Yeah, they come in handy now.
I think we're still getting horrible buffering issues.
Yep.
I will maybe stop and then start the stream again, just to see if I can fix it. Okay, so chat, I'm going to stop the stream and then restart it. So if it disappears for a second, I apologise. We'll see if that fixes it.
Yeah, Twitch working hard there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to stop the stream and then start it again because it is buffering for me, in fact. Alright, so let's give it 10 seconds. Let's come back.
Ooh, just a stun.
Just a stun?
But that's a stunned guard player.
Mm-hmm.